supposed to be chill and relaxing. It keeps it, authentic. Like,
and I have dog hair in my mouth. So that's authenticity, right?
Authentic,
Just all the things.
If you aren't finding pet hair in weird places, like, are you a pet owner? Like, I just
right.
All right, I'm gonna
literally every time I do my makeup, like the minute I'm done, I'm like, there's a dog hair stuck to my face and I can feel it, but I cannot figure out how to get it off. Because it's always invisible somehow. But I'm like, I can feel it.
I know you're there.
Yeah.
I pulled a cat whisker out of my hair the other day, so it's just like,
why not?
Yeah. Like, I don't know how you got there.
You have 3 cats, right? So
I do. So it makes sense that things end up in places. But hello, Nina.
Yeah, sorry, it won't ever look like I'm looking at the camera since I'm on my iPad, and so the camera's over here.
All fine. Let me actually edit the description real quick. Okay.
Alright, I should put a marker.
I don't think I brought my measuring tape because I was determined that I'm going to finish this today.
Mm-hmm.
But then I can't actually measure. I might have to at some point go up and get that.
I know. I'm thinking I might actually need to wind some more yarn. So I'll probably time that with our singular reading sprint that we do.
Do you do it by hand or do you have a winder?
I finally have a winder. I've had it, I guess, for a few years now, but most of my knitting life I have not had one, and it is so nice. It makes such a difference. I definitely agree that it's not something, it's not a need, and it's not something that,
I mean, you can wind a ball. It's annoying, but you can do it by hand.
Right.
It's 100% possible.
Yes. I would often really struggle with knots, and it felt like, I don't know, it felt like there was very little I could do when I was winding yarn by hand to prevent that from happening. It was sometimes it worked out great, and sometimes I was almost crying from frustration because I couldn't get this yarn to not be a knotted mess. That could be a skill issue. So it's definitely not a need, and I wouldn't have bothered to get one when I was first starting out, but now that I've been knitting a long time, it was a really nice thing to have. It was my big Christmas present from my family one year, and I was it was great.
Yeah.
It's so fast.
Yeah.
There's a cat. Are you going to try to get on my lap?
For a while, I was mostly just winding by hand, and I would put the hank on the back of a spinny chair, so that I could spin it. Yeah. But even that, it didn't quite work well. Over the summer, I got a winder, what's it called?
Oh, the Swift.
The Swift and the winder. I think honestly the Swift is the most important part because it keeps it from getting tangled.
Yes.
But I got a Swift and winder, and same, it was for my birthday, and it was all of my siblings chipped in to give it to me for my birthday.
Okay, can you guys can't see this, but he's in my
it's good view of a cat butt.
Yeah. Sorry about the bottom. It's climbing into my knitting bag.
It is so
well, it's the ideal place.
Yeah. It is so thoughtful of him to help you craft like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's my assistant, I guess. Well, now he's I've got my my hand quilting box next to it, and so now he got out of the knitting thing and it's open, so he's basically laying on top of where all the pen cushion and the scissors are. I'm aren't you getting poked with needles?
like my cats love little more than laying on dangerous objects. Like there have been so many times that I've had to hurry up and like put my hands under them because they lay down where my double pointed needles are, like in the middle of a project, so they're like sticking out. Like it just, they're like, if you aren't slightly afraid for my life, do you even love me?
One time I was cutting out some fabric and I had everything laid out on the floor because it was like a big piece. I was doing pants. And Merlin was obsessed with my scissors. And like the minute I put them down for a second, he would try to steal them. And I'm like, what are you going to do with scissors?
Run
like,
with them, clearly.
What are you exactly? I'm like, what are you going to do with this? But he wanted them so badly. And then I have a picture of him where I finally got him to leave the scissors alone. But what he ended up doing was he lay down in the middle of like the fabric that I was cutting, and I have a picture of him like laying there like with his head tilted back, like staring longingly at the scissors. I'm just like, what is wrong with you?
Why did you keep us apart, my love?
I know, he just wanted them so badly.
They're weird.
He also really wanted the masking tape I was using, so he kind of just likes to steal stuff.
Yeah.
At least that would be less dangerous.
Yeah.
Okay, now you're just gonna go wander off. Okay.
We got enough chaos for now.
Yes, I had to hide their Christmas present because we got it today. I don't know. Have you heard of these silver vine twigs? That cat, they're like a different cat marijuana, basically.
Okay.
But they're sticks. But they like have kind of like catnip, but I guess it's supposed to be like a lower dose so it lasts longer, so they can play with it for like, you know, a longer and have it same. So we got those, but they're like the twigs, but then they have a ball of catnip on top. So we're like all the drugs for the cats this Christmas.
That's so funny. The most precious holiday gift of all, hallucinogenics for our pets.
Yeah. Yep. Now he's just like sitting there staring at me like, why don't you have cozy things for me to sit on?
Yep. He says, why would you have soft things if they're not there for me to nest in? He says, this is really a you problem.
Mm-hmm.
What are you guys going to be working on today?
I am working on the same sweater that I think I had just started this sweater the last time we were doing this, and I'm getting towards the end of it now. So hold on, here we go.
Are you serious? Oh wow.
Yeah. So I have, you know, most of it. I got 2 arms. I'm just finishing the body right now. So I have like probably this much more of body and then like a little bit of ribbing, and then it'll be done. But this is good that like, this is good timing for this because the body is always the hardest part for me. Like, I may have talked about this before, but people always talk about like Sleeve Island online, where they like, oh, they lose steam on the sleeves. And I'm like, I like sleeves because they're a small circumference. You can make so much progress so quickly. And also it gets exciting because it starts really looking like a sweater once there are sleeves on it.
Yeah.
But the body is a much larger circumference, and it's not really adding to like the vibe of like, it's taking shape as a sweater. It's just like, it's a column, you know?
Yeah.
It's just so boring and exhausting. So a lot of times I do the sleeves before I do the body, and then I just kind of slog through the body. So this is good that I'll have something to do to motivate me while I finish the body.
Yeah.
Is
and
that
it's like so disheartening too, because it's like you'll feel like, oh man, I've got to at least have done like 3 or 4 inches, and you measure it and it's like 3/4 of 1 inch, and I'm like, oh, I hate everything.
I'm like, I've been knitting forever, and then I'm like, wait a minute, I did 2 rounds.
Yeah.
And do you start like contemplating if you really want this to be a cropped sweater?
Well, it's not even going to be a super long sweater because I'm sort of modeling it after a sweater that I really like the fit of. And that one is not cropped like to the waist, but it's cropped to like ending at like at the hip, not like down lower. So it's not even going to have to be like a super long sweater, but it's still taken forever. I'm just hoping, I think last time I was talking about trying to figure out the sizing, and I just hope it's not going to be too small because I just don't know how much to compensate, because I always hear so much how like superwash stretches like crazy, and I'm like, well, I don't want it to end up being huge, but also I'm a little concerned. So
yeah.
We shall see. I did make some modifications to the pattern though to make the body like a little bit bigger than, because I wanted something like between two sizes, so I did the smaller size and then kind of like modified it so that it would be like a little bit bigger in the body than the smaller size, but not as big as the bigger size.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I have finally accepted. I think I mentioned this on one of our recent ones, because I had finished. Maybe it was the long sleeves top I made, but I have like finally accepted that it's like, okay, I just need to plan to mix sizes, and it's not that big a deal if I just like accept it from the beginning. And also some patterns are really great about like making it very easy to like pick and choose.
Yeah.
Which is great.
This one, not easy to do that. Probably not the hardest, but not the easiest either, because it's a rib pattern and it's a very wide rib pattern. So like if you can't just like add a couple stitches, you have to do it like within the pattern. And because it's such a wide rib, the repeat is 10 stitches. So it's not like you could just add like one extra repeat. Like that would make a huge difference to add a full repeat, you know?
Yeah.
Anyways. So that's what I'm working on, and I'm hoping to finish it soon because I want to wear it.
I was just surprised when you said that, because I had watched your Instagram update, and I think I just watched that like 4 days ago, and at that point you'd only done like, you'd done more than the last time we met here, but like you had only done kind of like this area right here.
Oh yeah.
In your little Instagram video, and so I was like, oh, you know, you're still like up towards the top, and then you showed that, I was like, oh my gosh, you're made a lot wrong.
Yeah.
Sweater is imminent.
Yeah, I may.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I should say also I may have like filmed something and then like not posted right away.
Yeah, I know I didn't watch it right away because I don't watch anything right away.
Yeah. Oh, right. I'm actually trying to like time myself and track how long it's taking me to make this sweater so that I can accurately like know how long does it take me to knit a sweater.
Callie, what are you going to be working on? I think you said you're going to be finishing something, right?
Well, I'm trying to finish. This is the thing I've worked on, like 3 or 4 times that we've met the headband, and I think I can try to finish it. I just have to measure. I think I still have like another inch or so, and I'm like checking because I can't tell if I dropped. It doesn't look like I dropped a stitch, but I have some like random loop. I'm trying to figure out if I could just leave it or if I have to try to like put it on the.
Yeah, where did you come from?
Pull it through to the back and be like, it's not there.
Yeah.
Well, because this will fold over, so I'm like, well, if it's in the back, as long as it's not gonna like be structurally damaging, I'm like, I think that you could just be like, put in the back.
Yeah.
But I can't tell if it's like, it doesn't look like it's gonna pull a bunch of stuff.
Nina says, I get so many questions about how long my projects took, and I hate it because I never know the answer. So that's a good idea to time it.
Yeah, this is my timer. So I have timers for like winding the yarn. This is a saddle shoulder, so doing just the saddle, the full yoke, the collar, each arm, the body. So I'm gonna have to add it up at the end, but I'm timing like each section because I also am just
That's
curious, like
cool.
how long does it take me to do each
Yeah.
section? And then I like that this also has little counter things. So there was one point where I had to count like how frequently I was doing the cables every 10
Mhm.
rounds, how frequently I was doing the decreases every 4 rounds, and then how many decreases I had done. So I had like 3 different counters going.
Yeah.
It was very useful because it got complicated.
Yeah. Is that like intended for crafting, or is it just like
I don't think so. It's just called multi-timer.
cool?
I set it up like that, and it's been useful. So I
Yeah.
might do this. I don't know if I would do it with every project, but every once in a while, I think I might do this again because it's kind of interesting to like
Yeah.
see how long. Because yeah, I also like I've been maybe not knitting that long, but crafting my whole life, and people always ask like, "Oh, how long does it take you to make
Yeah.
this?" And I'm like, yeah, I don't know, especially with
Well,
sewing, like, because I would be like, well, it took me like 2 days, but that was like hyper focused. Like, that's the only thing I did that entire
and
day.
there's all the prep beforehand,
That's
which is really
also
part
true.
of the project.
Yeah, that's why I kind of debated whether I should include the yarn winding in the count because I was like, well, I'm not technically knitting, but that is like an important part of the process. So if I was like, I'm not doing this for the purpose of like pricing it, but if I were, that is still time that I'm spending on producing this.
Yeah, on this specific project, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. I think like similarly to how I totally understand why people like timing how much they read, like how long it takes them to finish a book or like something like
mhm.
that. Like similarly to how I get that, but I don't think it would work for me. I feel like I don't know, maybe I just have weird issues with like the concept of time because I think that would like not stress me out. I don't know how to describe it. I think like I don't know that I would necessarily want to know exactly how much time in my life I'm using for different things because that might make it like less enjoyable to do them, or if it's something like that I don't like doing, it might make it harder for me to like keep
Yeah, I
doing
mean,
it.
don't time the things you don't like
Yeah,
doing.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I get that, and I think that like I'm not doing it also for like productivity reasons. I
yeah,
just am kind of curious. Um and I also, yeah, to some extent sometimes it is just like I don't know. Like I don't want to know. It's just the magic of making stuff, you know?
yeah.
Um but also to me it kind of depends. I think it would depend also on the craft because like I never timed, even though I got a lot more questions from people about sewing, like how long would it take me to sew something? I never timed that because that was always something that was much more like it was much more like flow state to me. And so
Mm-hmm.
it felt almost more like sacred or something
Mm-hmm.
to when I was doing sewing. And so I was like, I don't want to like break my concentration
Yeah,
to time this because it would kind of ruin it for me. Whereas
yeah.
knitting, like I like knitting, but it's not it doesn't have that same feeling for me and I don't feel like I get into a flow state with it. It's more of like something that I do that kind of keeps my hands busy while I'm doing other stuff, like while I'm listening or watching other stuff. So it's like an activity that I enjoy, but it doesn't have that same feeling to me, so I don't mind timing it.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Have either of you guys read I can't remember what the American title is right now, but the original title is Don't Touch My Hair by Emma DeBerry.
I've heard of it.
I really love it. And she like covers a lot of different things. And the reason I mention it now is because there's one section where she's talking about like the concept of time, and for her specifically, she's talking about it in the context of like Black women taking care of their hair, and like it goes beyond just like self-care, you know, lighting a candle. It's like a really like deep sort of centering experience, especially because of everything that like Black hair has been made to represent by like white people, and like there's like all this other stuff behind it. And one of the things that she talks about is how like in some of these like African societies, like pre-contact with Europeans, like it wasn't like that they didn't understand time or anything. It was like the concept was so different that like Europeans showed up and they're like, you guys don't even understand clocks. And it's like, well, no, that's like not the point. Like they would like comment on basically like all this time that these women were like wasting or like spending, that was like taking care of their hair or braiding their hair. And it was like that wasn't a concept in this culture, not because they didn't like get it, but because it wasn't meaningful to them. Like that was something that was so tied to capitalism, like this
Western like Western time. Capitalism is like we use terms like spending and saving, and it's like time is money and like all of this, which is silly. And like there's that quote that's like, time you enjoy wasting is not wasted time, which is always something that I have like, I am not somebody, I honestly have a terrible concept of time. I cannot, like, I can be doing something and be like, was that 20 minutes? Was that 2 hours? Don't know. Like, I couldn't tell you. No concept of time. So I mean, I agree. but that's also part of why it's kind of interesting to me to time it, because I was like, I literally have no concept of how long this takes me. And so sometimes it's kind of just interesting to know.
Yeah.
Because there's no way for me to judge other than that.
Yeah.
But I am very much, I very much believe like, use your time. Like if you enjoy it, like it's not wasting time.
Right. And like obviously the book is about a lot more than just those things.
Sure.
I just thought that was really cool. And it's like, it's good to have frequent reminders that things that we take for granted are actually like perspectives, you know, like it's not like a hard and fast like rule that some cultures believe in and others don't. It's like it's I don't know, like saying like time is a construct. Like I know it can be like an annoying thing that I feel like people will bring up when it's like, okay, I get that, but I'm talking about something specific. But this is one of the things where it's like, no, it is. Like this is like I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, great book. I recommend it.
Yeah.
And it's like that concept of like needing to be productive with your time, but like that leisure time is like part of life that you want to have.
Yeah.
Whether that's self-care or hobbies or even vegging out, like that is still productive. And the fact that like if you're constantly doing something, it wears your body out and your mind out. Like you need those like rest points.
Like, and honestly, if we were going to divide our like life into life and other stuff, the other stuff should be the productivity and like work and stuff, because like the things that you do when you want to do them and when you want to be happy, like that should be what is considered like the main part of who you are and what your life is. And I don't mean like being selfish. I mean like doing things that like fulfill you and like bring you joy, or even like you said, Kelly, just like existing and not having to like produce something or like do something all the time. Like if we were going to draw a line between like life or existing and then the other stuff should be productivity, you know? And I feel like in American culture we get that very backwards.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody like I was gonna say recently, really it was probably a few months ago, but
time, like
yeah. Yeah, anything that happened within like the last year is recently.
yes.
But I was talking about like taking up knitting, and because I guess we were talking about like relaxation activities, and I was talking about taking up knitting and stuff like that, and somehow we got talking about like producing something, you know, and I don't know if this is really going to be relevant to what we were talking about just now, but this is where my brain went. But I was talking about how a lot of times, like, I feel like I feel like there is a necessity to me to like make things not for the sake of productivity, but because it's like I am a creative person. I like to make stuff, and I'm not doing it for the sake of like being productive. And there are times where like if I haven't been doing anything creative for a long time, I start to feel very overwhelmed because I feel like I'm only consuming things and nothing's coming back out, you know, like creatively. And it doesn't even have to be related. Like it's not like, oh, well, I have read a bunch of books, so I need to write my own story. It's like, well, I've consumed like a lot of stories, and so now I'm gonna like go sew a pair of pants. Like those aren't related. But there still is this like feeling of overwhelm when it's like, oh, I've only been consuming, and then it's like nothing. I haven't been like releasing any of that kind of creative energy or something. I feel like this is sounding very woo-woo now. But I was trying to explain this to this person, and I was like, they were fully misunderstanding what I was talking about. And they thought I was talking about having like, oh, I have this relaxing hobby that I like because it allows me to be productive, and I can make things because even in my relaxation time, I have to be productive. And I was like, that's not at all what I'm trying to say. And I don't know how to explain to you how little I genuinely care about being a productive human being. I don't care about being productive at all. I only do it because you have to survive.
Yeah. I have food on the table. You need
exactly. If I could, I would just be vibing all the time, doing whatever I wanted. And so I was like, I don't think you understand what I am saying, because this has nothing to do with being productive and everything to do with just being like, I feel like I have creative energy that has to go somewhere, otherwise it becomes like stressful to me.
Yeah. No, that makes sense, and like it actually is what I need to tell my other crafting, because like I went on like a sewing retreat, like quilting retreat, and these ladies, they like do their one project and they, you know, start it and then they go all the way to the end and they finish it, and then they have their product, you know, that they've finished. And I at the retreat was like, I'm gonna work on this project for 2 hours, then, you know, not feeling the creative juices on that anymore, so I'm gonna move over to this project. And I never finished anything in the 3-day or 4-day retreat. I just like kept switching projects. And I realized it's because like I'm doing it because I want to feel creative and feel like I'm doing that. But then as soon as it becomes like I am just making something and it's a chore, then I don't want to do that one anymore. And I have to wait to feel like inspired again to come back to that project. Where other people I think are like, we started a project, we finish the project, and then it's like it has its purpose and goes to be an. And I'm like, do you know how many quilting projects I have started and not finished? Because it's not about the end product.
Probably about as many knitting projects I've started and not finished. Like, yeah, no, I agree. And like, I wonder if, Huck, what you're describing is maybe part of what I feel, because I have like struggled to articulate why it feels almost like a very specific kind of like restlessness or anxiety if I haven't been doing certain things like crafting or even like video stuff, which I'm still trying to catch up. But it's like there are things where it's like it's not just like, oh, I feel bad that I haven't done this thing. It's like I need to do this thing, and because I'm not, for whatever reason, it feels like you said, it's like I have energy with nowhere to put it, and I don't like that, and it feels like bad. Like I don't, yeah. So I don't like. I totally understand why it's hard to like explain it in a way that doesn't sound like, okay, what are you talking about? But I think maybe I feel the same. So I'm with you.
That sounds similar. Yeah.
Sorry, my cat is eating my string.
No.
As cats do.
Classic.
Today,
I also think.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, this was not related, so you go and stay on topic.
Oh. I was to say that, like, I mean, there are certainly lots of projects that I have not finished. I do tend to try to like finish things, but I bounce around between different kinds of hobbies. So I've learned how to do a lot of different things, and like the individual projects, most of the time I will finish, but then I will like, with most hobbies, I will kind of reach a plateau where I go like, not that I've become an expert, but like I've reached the level of mastery that I want. And so now I'm not interested anymore. Because to me, like I collect a lot of hobbies, but really I always say that like my real hobby is learning things. And so it's less about the end product and more about learning how to do this thing and like applying creativity in a new way, or things that I've learned from other types of hobbies to this. And so it just kind of, I don't know, was maybe similar to what you're saying, Kelly, about like having kind of wanting, like bouncing around to different things. It's like maybe a little bit, the period of time is maybe a little bit longer than what you were describing, because I'll go like months or years of like doing one thing, and then I go like, okay, I don't care about this anymore. Like I learned what I wanted to learn, and then I'm done. But that's because it's like the learning process and getting to like figure things out, problem solve, learn new skills, apply, and like be creative with it is the fun part, not really the thing. Yeah, I mean, I do like the stuff that I make, but that's like why I kind of bounce around.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out what to do, because now he's on my lap, and so I think I need to move to hand quilting, because he won't leave my yarn alone.
Of course, yeah. Nana said, OMG, I collect hobbies too, and one time a therapist said that was dumb, because imagine her having gotten her master's in psychology and then just quitting and finding another interest. I don't think she knew what hobbies are. I agree.
That's a wild thing to say to somebody. Yeah, as a therapist. This is wild.
I agree with your assessment, Nana. I think, yeah. Not what a hobby is.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's also completely different than like choosing a career path. Like doing your career, like you're not going to be super jazzed about it every moment. You're just like, honestly, I feel like a lot of people choose career paths because they're like, this seems the least worst, and I can do it. So. Anyways, but yes, that seems like a wild thing to say to somebody.
Yeah, it's like not really related.
Yeah. Like, you could say that's the opposite of a hobby, actually. Like,
right. But also people do that. Like they go through go through law school and then start a candle making business or something, like you don't know. People do
and like obviously that often takes like certain resources and support, but it's not like,
for sure,
it's not like inherently bad to like get a degree in something and then do something else. Like actually my mom has told me before that this one woman that she worked with, I think maybe she didn't like work outside the home like much, or maybe like hardly at all. I don't remember. But like she would tell my mom that like, oh, she never worked outside the home, so she felt like she wasted her degree, which was in psychology. And my mom's like, you have kids, like of course you used your degree in psychology, you know, like, and it's just like my mom very firmly believes, and like I agree, that like education is not really something you can waste. Like there are definitely ways in which it can be more like immediately applicable to your life or your daily life, but yeah, it's just it's not something that like you can get and not use. Like you almost can't, like I think even if you were trying, you couldn't really not use active learning things. I don't know if that makes any sense.
No, my mom always tells this story about when she was younger, her degree was in theater, I think. And when she was younger, she worked for a while at a women's shelter. And when she did the interview for it, like she went to interview, there were all these other people who had like psychology degrees, and none of them got the job, and she did. And the person who interviewed her said that it was because when, as part of the interview, they would give the person like a scenario of saying like, this woman came in, she's just like left her husband. They had a fight at dinner. She took her kids, ran, came to the shelter. What do you do? And all of the like psychology and social work people who had interviewed would start going through like the correct procedures for it. And my mom's answer was, I would ask her if her kids ate. Are they hungry because they got up during dinner? And they were like, you get the job. Because my mom was thinking, okay, I am this character. I am a mother who just ran out of dinner, like took my kids and left. What's my main concern? And so she went into like being a character in theater instead of being like, what are the correct procedures? And so she got the job. And so like that's her story for like that type of thing of like, you don't always know, how your degree is going to apply.
Yeah, I think that's such an interesting and like kind of cool story. Actually, okay, there is no connection between these things except that they both have to do with psychology. But before I say that, Kelly, were you going to say something else about what we were talking about? Or...
No.
Okay. That's called empathy, true empathy. Yeah. Like it really is. I mean, there's a reason that they find that over and over, like reading or consuming stories is like the most important thing in developing empathy. So the thing that your story made me think of is like, I am watching a Korean drama right now called Beyond the Bar. So it's set at a law firm, and I'm only a few episodes in, but it's really interesting, and I really like how they are like, I'm finding that the shows I like best that involve some kind of like law or case sort of thing are the ones where it's like, it's not just like a puzzle they figure out. It's like has something to do, like there's like issues they talk about, or it's like about like the psychology behind it, like we're talking about. And I was just so fascinated because I learned from this show, like it was like a sort of side thing that was related to the case they were working on, that like when they are like testing like young children in like a child development context, one of the ways that they test for I think they called it something like emotional entanglement. And like, since you are like trained in psychology, you probably know way more about this, but
I don't know.
Okay. Like basically like not just like the child being close with their parents or feeling safe, because obviously that's important, but it's like to the point of not being able to like interact with the world in the way that they should. And the way they test for
like
that
enmeshment.
Yes. And the way that they test for that is they give the child a question that is appropriate for their like age level, and they have them answer it. But before this, because they're sitting with their mom, or I guess their parent, before this they have told the parent to intentionally give the wrong answer, because they ask both the kid and the parent what the right answer is. And they said that a lot of children will say what the right answer is, even if their parents give the wrong one. Some of them will say what their parents said, but then afterwards they will go up to the examiner and be like, I actually lied. I think it was this one. So there was still an understanding that it was different. And the ones who do have this issue, they will seem to accept that the answer that they know is wrong is actually not wrong. I think this was in the context of Munchausen syndrome and believing things about reality actually changing the reality that you experience. Anyway, like I said, not really related to what we were talking about, but I found that so fascinating because that's such a simple test, but it makes sense that that's how they would find this out, is they intentionally set up the kid to have to say an answer that their parent said is wrong. Anyway, just fun facts, I guess. I just found that so interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know any of that.
Yeah, that is interesting.
I guess I didn't even think about that being something that they would test for. But of course they would test for that. That makes sense, especially if there are some possible issues developing.
Yeah. This is not really related, but it's a different study, I guess. But to hear that there was this study that they were like, we can prove that your dog is judging you and that female dogs judge you harder than male dogs. Which was so funny. I think the way they did this study was they would set up so that the dogs could see a person trying to open a jar or something, and then the person would sometimes, in some groups, the person opened the jar no problem. Some people, they struggled a little and then opened it, and in some groups it was they never got the jar open. And they would see for the people who could never get the jar open, or in that group, the dogs would start to the next time they saw that person try to open a jar, the dog would be like, oh, you can't do it. So they start judging their competence and stop being invested in what the person's doing. And that the female dogs were more judgmental of people's competence and abilities than the male dogs. And it was just so funny.
That's hilarious. I love things like that to me just really emphasize that animals feel and think and experience so much more than some people give them credit for. I remember when I learned, and I'm sure there's actual studies on this and I just don't know where they would be, but I remember learning that one of the reasons that there is so much less data, or I guess less positive data about how cats interact and how they solve problems is that cats just refuse to participate. They I understand that you want me to walk through this maze, I don't feel like it. And I'm that is so on brand. I love that. It's I think I guess in their own way, cats too are anti-capitalism, and they're I refuse to be a machine for you, foolish human. Natalie says, based on that, I am being heavily judged all the time. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I don't know if they needed to do a whole study. Most people can tell you my dog is judging me.
Right. But it's nice to have it backed by science.
Yeah. It's also, I've seen things where they say that I don't remember the exact percentage, but they were saying we believe that 80 to 90% of dogs' dreams are about their people. Because they did I guess some kind of brain scan when they would have their person like come into the room, and their like certain parts of their brains would light up, and then they monitored their brain activity while they were dreaming, and like the same areas that light up when they see their humans would light up while they were dreaming, so they think that they're dreaming about their people. And it's like most of their dreams are about their people, which then makes me wonder though about the dreams where they like growl and, and stuff.
Yeah,
like what are you doing?
Maybe somebody's trying to attack their people, and so then
Maybe
There
being
you
like,
go.
I'm such a fierce guard dog, I took him down.
Yep. Natalie, either that or she thinks I'm a chipmunk. Amazing.
Did you say what you were working on, Kara?
Oh, no, I didn't. So, I am actually starting a new project because even though I do still have a couple that I'm working on, like, you know, talking about being in the middle of a bunch of things all the time, none of them are really in a good place to just like hang out and chat during. And this is something this kind of thing is something I've wanted to make for a while. So I'm doing a shawl because I think it would be like a perfect thing for like the weird weather we're having, where it's like I don't know, I get so annoyed having to put on and take off a jacket all day long. And so if I basically have a wearable blanket for my shoulders, that would be better. So that's my little experiment to find out if I am in fact a shawl person. And so I'm making, where is the name of it? It's the Rivers and Winding Roads shawl by Tiff Nealon. And I'm just at the very, very beginning, but yeah, I think it'll be fun. And I'm actually using, you know how sometimes like yarn will be discounted because like the dye lot is slightly wrong or something. I got some of this like a while back because it was like a blend of like merino and like silk or something, like mulberry silk.
Wow.
And I was like, well, I'm not going to buy that full price, but I might buy it at a discount to experiment and see. So that's what I'm using for it. And it's this really pretty sort of like, I don't know, berry color. I don't know if you can even see, but I think I'm going to, because it's like a repeating pattern, there's like some like lace sections and then there's like garter stitch sections. I think I might do a few different colors, a couple different ones that all sort of like coordinate in the set, because that was the like slightly off dye lot. It was like for like a fade set or something. So anyway, that is what I'm going to be working on. Like I said, I'm at the very, very beginning, but so far I'm already like, this yarn is so soft. Like, it's like what do you call it? Single strand, single something. It's like not like twined the way that most yarn is, and I try to avoid using that because I don't always like how it looks, and also it doesn't wear very well. But I think for something like this that I'm not going to be washing as much as like a top or, you know, socks or something, I think it should be okay. So that's my reasoning. We'll see.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I think I am a shawl person. I didn't, because last year when I had my you know, my cast that I had to wear, you know, for my shoulder, or the sling, that's what I meant, the sling, and it was really hard to put things on and off, and so I didn't wear like thick sweaters during that time. I would just like wear a button up long sleeve so it's easy to put on, but then I would be cold, and so I started wearing shawls over it because it's like I can just throw that over top of my sling and I don't have to like wear it under. And I was like, yeah, just like walking around with a blanket that is like perfectly acceptable to be wearing at work.
Exactly. Exactly. That is what I am going for, is socially acceptable wearable blanket. Like that is the vision. Yeah. So, and I also think for for like the climate where I live, I feel like it will be really useful because I mean, we're very lucky. We have very mild temperatures most of the year, but it is almost always windy. So you almost always want something with you if you're outside. And like I said, I get annoyed having to take like a sweatshirt or a jacket like on and off the whole day. So this will be a possible solution, which I'm excited about. And they can be like, I don't know, they can be pretty, you know? That's cool. Wearable blanket that is also nice to look at. What's not to love? Only good things here.
Yeah.
Are you thinking at some point you'll make a shawl, Kelly, or?
Yeah, I do. I think that my mom got me a book of like knitting patterns about shawls last year, and I haven't pulled it out. So maybe this winter I'll pull it out because that seems like a good thing in the winter to be working on because then it'll feel a little blanket-like when I'm sitting there. And I think that would be nice. So I might pull that out once I finally finish this headband. I think the reason this headband project is taking forever is I really just hate ribbing. So I think I would like something like a shawl that would have like some increases, decreases, but then like be a normal pattern and not ribbing.
Yes. Well, and what I like I guess I've made like 1 or 2 shawls before now that I'm thinking about it. But it's been a while. And the thing that I like about this pattern, but also just I guess patterns in general, I really like when there's like alternating sections where it's like some of it is very engaging and interesting and you have to focus, and then you have like a few rows where you're just chilling, like you're just like knitting stockinette or you're knitting garter. And I like having that switch back and forth because I like staying engaged, but it's also nice to have like sort of breaks from that. Like I don't know, I think last time we were talking about like sweaters and how there's like the really interesting and difficult part, and then like you said, Huck, it's like body island. You're just like there forever knitting a tube. There is nothing before or after. It has always been tube. Like you just get like so.
It has always been tube.
Yeah, you get like so bored and over it, and so I like having it broken up like that. So
yeah,
another reason that I think shawls might be a good move for me.
And I do like get cold around my neck. It's like so weird. I was wearing a dress for yesterday for Halloween. I didn't like dress up, but I did look kind of witchy because I have this like black dress that's kind of long and has bell sleeves, so it kind of gives that witchy feel. And I wore like orange tights with it. So I was like, oh, I'm totally like witchy. But this dress has a boat neck, so it's like where it goes like basically to your bra straps. So there's like a lot of neck. And all day I was like, my neck is cold. Like,
I look cute, but at what cost?
Yeah. Because it was actually pretty chilly yesterday. It was like, not like really cold, but it was probably in the upper 30s. I think a high of like 42. And then it was raining when we went trick-or-treating. So not only was I like neck exposed to the wind,
but also
like, wet.
No.
I'm like, wearing a shawl probably would have been nice. And a little more warm.
Yes.
You know what I always feel like I want is like the opposite of a vest. Like just sleeves, no body.
Yeah.
Because I get hot easily. Sounds really weird the way I said that. Just sleeves, no body sounds really weird. Obviously, you wear something under it. But
so not like chaps for your top.
You would clearly wear a shirt underneath this.
Now that we've established that you are wearing a shirt, continue.
Okay. Except
for sleep.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, I need to calm down.
You started this conversation. It's funny because like, I
kills
hadn't
me.
I hadn't even like thought of that until you like corrected it, and now like I'm just picturing like a shrug, you know? That's like
Yeah, there is actually those things where like it just kind of connects across your chest and then it's
Yeah.
just sleeves. So really I don't necessarily like how those look, but I should do that because
Yeah.
I get hot really easily. And like my core gets really hot, but my arms are cold because it's like it's not like I get really hot. Yeah. So anyways, I just feel like when I'm like a vest is the opposite of what I need because I get too hot in my core
Yeah.
and then my arms are out here too cold and I'm like I just need sleeves.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also get hot really easily, which is part of my frustration with having to like constantly put on and take off a jacket or something because I do it so much. And so what is actually really nice.
Sorry, I saw that.
Okay.
Okay, I feel like this has gone a little far.
Look what you've done, Huck. No. What has been really nice is like my mom sews, and she actually made this was like several years ago now. She did like basically turned like a sweatshirt top into more of like a like sweater construction almost. And it's so nice because there's no like closure or anything. So not only is it easy if you want to like take it off or put it on, but also what is so nice about it is that you can wear it backwards and then it's even easier because it's basically just like cut and seamed and there's like no connection or anything for it, and it is really nice because then you basically can just have it on your arms, and if you keep the front part like kind of loose, it's so nice. I wear it like all the time. So I understand.
There's an Etsy shop where I get my leg warmers. Like she does stuff with wool, and I buy her leg warmers because I like wearing leggings with dresses in the winter, but them leggings by themselves are not warm enough in Minnesota winter. So I buy her leg warmers, and she has a product that is just like sleeves that are basically leg warmers for your arms. And I've never bought them, but she has them. So
all right.
And
there are other people who want them, clearly.
I mean, honestly, I could probably just make a sweater where it's like you just do yoke sleeves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? That's it.
That's true.
I think that
God,
it makes sense because especially if you're typing or doing something on the computer, your extremities just do get colder.
Yeah.
Also, yeah.
And so, if you've got a warm enough core, it's like your hands are out here, and it's like
a lot of times also I read in bed, and so then if it's really cold, then I have the blankets up, and I'm like holding the book like this, so that the blanket can like cover my arms as much as possible, but then the book is like right here.
Yeah. You just need your arm sleeves so that you can
exactly. This is the solution.
That happened to me yesterday. It was because after I had trick-or-treated in the cold rain, I got home and could not warm up. I actually pulled my heated blanket out of the closet for the first time this year because I was I am cold to the core. So I had that on and everything, and then when I went to bed, I was trying to read and barely get outside of the covers. I'm freezing here. I can't get my core warm enough or any part of my body warm enough.
Yeah, that's what pets are for.
Yeah.
Well, they choose when they want to come lay next to me. So.
That is so true. They're don't you depend on me?
Yeah, this is the thing: is Merlin is not cuddly either, which is eternally frustrating to me because I am I just want to cuddle with my dog, and he is no, thank you. So I he's a sweetheart, but he does not like to cuddle. And so I am slowly but surely convincing him to be more cuddly. To at least tolerate it, you know? Yeah, because I'm just this is why I have a dog, is so that I can cuddle with them.
Yeah. Well, this is why I have 3 cats, because there's supposed to be 1 cat on me at all times, but they don't listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Sounds about
But
right.
also, the whole process of like trying to convince him to cuddle with me is gotten a little ridiculous because I can get him to do it like in the morning when he's like kind of sleepy, and I get him to like come in my bed and I put the blankets over him, but it's like really specific because he has to be facing me. He doesn't like it if I'm behind him, and I can't look at him because he feels too much like pressure, you know, like dogs can be a little weird about like if you look at them too much, you know. So he feels too like much social pressure if I look at him. So I have to like lie down so that I'm not like facing him, and he has to be, but he's facing me, and then he will fall asleep. And sometimes he has started like he'll scooch closer because he wants me to give him a belly rub, and so then he ends up like right next to me, which is very cute.
Aw.
But it's like it's been a process to get there because
he will slightly cuddle, but he must not be perceived.
exactly, yes, it has to be fully on his terms, cannot be perceived. But honestly, it's an improvement because it used to be like if I tried to cuddle with him, he acted like he was fighting for his life.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
What is this human doing?
I know.
yeah, there must
I
be
always
some
think of
nefarious
that-
intention. And I'm like,
Yes.
no, you are fuzzy and I'm cold.
When pets freak out about something that is either like a positive thing for them or just like something that shouldn't be a big deal, I always think of this bit from one of the Monty Python movies where somebody like they're like a peasant and they're like, "Help, help, I'm being repressed." And I'm like, I always think, and that like the joke is that like they were just having a conversation with this guy, and he
Yeah.
just like disagreed with something that they said. He's like a knight or whatever, and so the this like person is like, "Help, help, I'm being repressed," and it's like just because somebody was like, "No, I don't think that's true," and I always think about that for
Well,
pets for some
honestly, there are
reason.
real people who feel that way, but that's beside the
You know, that's true. That's true.
But yes, that is the way the dogs like or pets can be sometimes. Like, yeah.
Like minor inconvenience. Help, help, I'm being repressed. Like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, with him also, like, it took a long time. That the cuddling I don't get, but the like why he's so against it. But there are other things that like when I first got him, he would act like I was trying to murder him when I was like, I am trying to check your paws to make sure you didn't step in poop or something.
Yeah.
Like, like just really simple things. Like, I'm just trying to look at your feet. And he would do like ninja moves, like fighting for his life. And I was like, I'm not gonna like wrestle you because that would be like traumatizing to you or something. But also, I need to check you.
Yeah. Well, and that's like especially when you have like shelter animals or animals who are like strays. It's like I think that can happen a lot. Like Nala is the cat that like was a stray. And she is like incredibly well adapted to people. Like it's kind of shocking actually how like social she has turned out to be. But there are things that like absolutely freak her out, and I can't help thinking that it must be, you know, from something that happened while she was like having to survive by herself, which is really sad to think about. But like she absolutely hates being picked up. Like
I can see why that would freak out like
yeah,
an animal that had to survive.
and
that makes sense.
exactly. And she's finally getting to the point because like she needs a pill, so she has to be picked up. And it's finally getting to the point where like she still hates it, but I think it's more manageable, which is good to know that you can, you know, handle your pet in an emergency when you need to grab them or something. But yeah, it's like the same thing is like it makes sense to me why that would be a terrifying thing, because especially like humans are so much bigger than cats, and then like a lot of dogs too. Like that complete like loss of control would be terrifying, especially if they have like a past that like involved like shelters or being a stray or something. So like some of it makes a lot of sense. But
Oh, for
yeah,
sure.
then there's some things where it's like, why specifically does cuddling feel like a personal attack? Like,
Right. And also it's like he doesn't, so like now he's totally fine with me like checking his paws, like checking him anywhere. You know, he's gotten desensitized to that. I've done a lot of work with him to like build trust, because that was a big thing when I first got him, is that he was very distrustful, very fearful of a lot of things, and he would like act out and act like a maniac. And so I did a lot of like trust building kind of training with him, because he also would freak out sometimes when I tried to pet him. But I think that was because I think he got overwhelmed and overstimulated and didn't know how to communicate that, and so then he would act crazy. Anyways, this is a side. I can talk so long about all of the things that I had to do with him to like. But now he's totally fine, extremely tolerant of me like checking his paws, checking anything. Still weird about cuddling. And I'm like, I don't like, I've had him for over a year and a half. It'll be 2 years in February. We've done so much like trust building. I feel like we have a pretty strong relationship now. He knows I'm not going to do anything like scary to him.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like I do weird stuff. So like I'm just a weird person, and sometimes he thinks it's weird that I'm like, I want to pet your face, you know. But like,
hey, that's one of the things we love
so
about
it's like,
our pets.
I can't promise I'm not going to do something weird, but I can promise I'm not going to do anything that hurts you or is scary.
Yes.
And
One
like,
of the things my brother says a lot when he's like holding pets is like, love is mandatory.
oh my god.
Exactly. You will be cuddled.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm just like, I mean, I do wonder if there's some like bad experience that he had, but I'm like, what is the bad cuddling experience that he would have had? I mean, I'm sure it's possible, but I'm like, I don't understand why this is the line where you go like, no.
Yeah.
So that's the thing we're working on, is like, you know, very slowly building that up, convincing him that nothing bad is going to happen and that maybe it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Let's see. I still like, I wish you could give like badges to comments, because I can actually do a little star. What happened?
You're gonna to the naked
What
except
happened
for
to my
sleep.
Doesn't seem to change much. Okay. But thank you for your contribution.
Maybe it like pins it or something.
Maybe. Do we want to take our usual single sprint / break?
Yeah.
Because I need to grab something to eat. Probably won't need to get more yarn. Because I haven't done that much on the project. But do we want to do like till 45, or do we want to go to the hour? What are you guys thinking?
Till 45 is fine with 45. Me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will try to eat fast. Let's see. Okay.
Unless you need more time.
No, I think that should be fine, honestly. Okay, so we are going to mute, and if you guys want to do, like, people watching, obviously you can do whatever you want, but it's like, if you wanted to actually have a reading sprint, this would be a great time to do that. So, all right, we will be back in just under half an hour. See you guys then.
All right.
And Hello.
Hello. So I decided instead of continuing to craft, I'm gonna paint my nails
Also important.
because then I'll have time to dry. So I need some help on which fall vibe we're going for.
Ooh.
Brown, purple, or green.
I'm gonna say dark green.
Do all of them.
What? Huh? Jeremy, did you say all of them?
Yes.
Like switch between?
Yeah, that's what I do.
I know. I feel
That
like
would be
though-
cute.
I feel like I need an orange, but I don't have an orange. So I guess you think these three will go okay?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Especially the green and purple I would like together.
If it was just the green and purple, though, it might look a little too Halloween, like Disney villain.
Yeah. Possibly. Well, I could try all three, and I guess if nothing else, I could take one off and replace it later or something. I don't think I have any. I mean, I have like a dark red, but I don't have anything else that would be fall vibes. Like I have this like really dark red,
Mm-hmm.
but that might
That's
be like
pretty.
Yeah, well, I need to do my nails, but see, I have different colors,
yes. So maybe
which are very similar colors to what you have, except I have a blue instead of a purple. I've been thinking I need to have a purple to add into my rotation.
yeah, and this is the darkest brown I have because I have like another brown, but it's like that one's like too orange.
Oh, are those Olive and June? I was just thinking of
Yes.
getting some from there.
I love Olive and June because I feel like they last a really long time, but they take a long time to dry, which is why I have to do it on like a like on a.
I have
day
to
where
like
I have lots of time.
do it in the morning, so that by the time I go to sleep, and still most of the time when I wake up, there's like a sheet imprint, like the texture of my sheets are imprinted on my nail, and I'm like, it has been like 12 hours. How is it not dry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find letting it dry for a longer time between helps. Like,
Yeah, that's probably what I need to do.
To almost give it like an hour in between coats.
Oh, that's long. Okay.
I know. That's what I have found. Like that, I think it says to go like a half hour, but I was like, no, you gotta go longer.
Oh, I have not been letting it dry long enough. I don't even do half an hour. But they do also have a quick dry formula, which probably will not last as long, but
yeah,
I might be okay with that if it doesn't, because it's like, well, it doesn't help me if it lasts long if it looks bad the whole time because it never dried.
Or if you don't want to do it, like.
Yeah.
I have one of the quick ones, and they definitely do not last as long. But yeah.
How long are we talking?
I can, if I redo a top coat, I can go almost a week on the regular, and then the quick dry, I would say 3 days before it starts.
Okay.
Though I haven't done a lot of top coats on those, like, so maybe I need to do top coat more often.
Yeah.
But I'm missing my top coat, except for I have the matte top coat. I don't have the shiny top coat. And the matte top coat, the problem is if you're not like exactly over top of it, then the shiny like shows around, and that bugs me.
Yeah.
I feel like when I've tried a matte top coat, I feel like it makes the polish come off more easily also, because it's not like the shininess kind of stops things from catching, and like rubbing it off.
Yeah. Yeah. I do have I guess I could use this one as the fall, like this is the golden top coat. So give everything
that would be pretty.
Golden sparkly.
You guys are making me want to paint my nails. I haven't done it.
Yeah. So I went for all 3.
I like.
Except for now, my middle finger is green. It's really like intentional.
Mine is too on this hand. My nail polish looks terrible right now, but I really need to redo it. But yes.
Natalie says, I'm taking care of a family member's dog and I have to feed them separately and walk them separately. 2 fed and 1 walked, 1 more walk to go.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Good luck. Yeah. Actually, 2 of my cats right now are having to live in separate spaces because of some issues they're having. So I understand about having to like
feed
and care separately. It's a lot.
Yeah. That makes things tough.
Yep.
So what are you all reading? We haven't talked about books.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I am actually. I'm finishing something right now because we're having our Pasta Classics discussion tomorrow. So I'll be finishing tonight. A Long Fatal Love Chase by Louisa May Alcott, and it's kind of wild. It's really interesting. Like, I am very engaged in it. Like, when I start reading it, I don't want to put it down, and I have read it so much more quickly than I expected. It's one of like, she wrote Little Women, and do you guys remember there's that part in Little Women where like Jo is talking about how she wrote these like sensationalist, like dramatic stories, and like that wasn't, serious literature. Like, her professor is like, you can do better than that, blah, blah, blah. So in real life, Louisa May Alcott also had a period of her writing career where she wrote these like very sensational, very melodramatic stories. And so this is one of them. And it's really interesting. It's like, there's some parts of it that remind me a little bit of Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, or even like Jane Eyre, but the setup is sort of like Faust, because like it's this young girl who is really not given like any freedom. Like, she lives with her grandfather, who doesn't care about her at all. Like, he takes care of her, but like she's basically alone. She doesn't get to go anywhere or talk to anybody. She's understandably really bored, and just like wanting to do anything. And so she makes this proclamation that it's like she would be willing to sell her soul to Satan for 1 year of freedom. And then this like mysterious man shows up, and it's like it goes from there. Like, it is very, very dramatic, but very interesting. There actually are a couple of parts that have surprised me so far, because I kind of thought when I started it that like I sort of like, I kind of knew the direction things were going in, but there's been some little surprises that are interesting. But yeah, Louisa May Alcott is an interesting author for me. I have had mixed feelings about all the books I've read from her. Not that I've read that many, but it's like she's one of those authors, like one of those classic authors specifically, where I am continually like, okay, is this feminism? Like, or is this like commentary, or do you like genuinely believe this about women? Like, so that has not been super fun. There's a lot of that in this one that I am not enjoying. And it's also just fascinating to read like a mid 1800s version of the Manic Pixie Dream Girl, because like that's what she is. Like, the main character is like essentially 1800s Manic Pixie Dream Girl, and like she's so like beautiful and charming, but it's because she doesn't know that she's beautiful and charming. Like, it's fascinating from an anthropological perspective to see that has been happening for at least a few hundred years. I'm assuming a lot longer, but yeah. So anyway, so that's the primary thing I've been reading that I like had to talk about, because it is like, what an experience. Like, have you guys seen those like memes or compilations where people put together like those old like book covers of women dramatically running away from a manor, and it's like in a gown with a candle, like that kind of thing? That's like the vibe of this book, like, but in earnest. So yeah, anyway, what a time that is. And it seems like there was maybe going to be like some murder, but now it seems like maybe it's not, and it's a misunderstanding. But he definitely did like intentionally lead to somebody else's death. Like at one point, you think that he like murdered this kid that works for him, but that's not what happened. It's so weird. There's also a lot of incredibly uncomfortable like stuff where it's like in the like 18 and 1900s where it's like they were like even racist against other varieties of white people almost, you know what I mean, where it's like, oh my gosh, like they're traveling in Europe and some of the things that they are saying about like people in Italy or Greece or like it just it's like there's this one line where they're talking about like a little like hotel that they're staying at or something, or no, maybe it's like a restaurant that they go to, and they're describing that in the back like courtyard area there's like buildings and like kitchens and like fish houses and blah blah blah, and so like it created the kind of filth that can only be found in an Italian city. And I'm just like I don't know, just weird stuff going on. Yeah, it almost, there's parts of the book that almost remind me a little bit of like the Bluebeard fairy tale. I don't remember if I just said that, but anyway, I'm sorry. I keep like talking more about this book because it's like such an interesting but wild experience. So
yeah, I don't know if like I just read the first Louisa May Alcott just recently. I just read Little Women for the first time, and I was like, I don't love it. Like
I don't either. Yeah.
I think it was just so moralistic. I was like, oh my gosh, it's like my teeth are hurting. And
yeah.
Like, so I just don't know if like, yeah, how I feel about like reading other things by her. I don't know.
Yeah, like, and I'm curious. That's one of the things I'm curious about with this book is like when we get to the end, what exactly are the morals that we're gonna get? Because I don't. That's one of the things that gets me about the other books I've read from her is not just that they're moralistic, but I like disagree with some of the morals that she is like promoting in her story. Like I don't know. This is one of the things that makes me like so uncomfy about the way that she writes her female characters. Is I feel like, and again, I have read a very small like sampling of her work, only a few novels, but I feel like there is often this like spirited young heroine who learns that she was wrong to want to like, I don't know, find happiness in her own way kind of thing. Like I know like Jo March is often treated as like this proto-feminist heroine, and I do understand why people like view her that way or like really like the book for that, but like there are always things about the like execution of like the end of her stories, like of the happy endings, that they make my skin crawl. I really don't like them, and that's one of the things that I am having like a hard time with in this book too. There's also a lot of weird like slave and master language, and like he won her in a card game from her grandfather, and I'm like, gross, I hate it. And like to the main character in the author's credit, she is like not happy about that. She's like uncomfortable. But then he's like, no, I like ransomed you like a damsel in a tower, like from your favorite fairy tales. And she's like, oh, okay, that makes it better then. And I'm like,
does it?
I don't know about that. Like just weird stuff. And then there's like all these weird things about like the servants that he hires, where it's like again, it's not, I don't want to over compare these things to, for example, like slavery or other, you know, kinds of actual like racism and oppression and all of that. I'm not trying to equate those things, but there's just very odd language around some of these things, and like even like little dumb things like the one of the like beautiful boys who like serves him is apparently Greek, but he speaks in Italian, I think. And so I'm like, did Louisa May Alcott just be like, I don't know, it's close enough, nobody will know.
Yeah, they like are near each other, right?
Yeah, it's fine. And I mean, I don't know, maybe there are parts of Greece that have like, I, you know, obviously ancient Greece and Rome, there was a lot of overlap in those things, so there could be reasons for it, but I don't feel like that's what it is here. Natalie says, I read it as a kid, but maybe I'll just stick with the film adaptations in adulthood. You guys aren't the first ones to talk about how obsessed with the moral lesson Alcott is. Yeah, and like I said, it's not that I don't mind when books have strong themes if they are handled well. I feel like hers are so heavy-handed, and like I said, they often conflict with things. Like I always think about the part in Little Women where like, I mean, I guess for people like reading or watching it for the first time, I know some people think it's dumb to talk about spoiling classics, but there are some classics I have read that it was really fun to not know what's going to happen. So just to note that I'm going to talk about a pretty big plot point in Little Women, but the part when Amy burns the draft of Jo's novel, and everybody like, it's not that they don't think Jo should be upset, but because that is the time when Amy almost dies, like falling into the like frozen pond or whatever, like everybody acts like if something horrible had happened, that Jo would have been wrong to blame her for that. Like it was so strange to me, like this idea of like I think their mom even says like, never let the sun go down on your anger, Jo. And I'm like, that is like that is a much bigger thing that Amy did to her than the fights that they had where Jo does something mean to Amy. Like I just don't, I guess I don't align with Louisa May Alcott's concept of like fairness or like justice. Because that like so upsets me. I'm like, that's like, obviously it's good that Amy didn't die, but it is not Jo's responsibility to get over this horrible thing her sister did just because she's her sister. Like, what were you going to say, Kelly? Sorry.
Yeah, and like forgiveness doesn't always happen in a 5-hour time. I mean, like for her, because like when people say like don't go to sleep angry, it's like, well, that's not really like always possible. Like you have to work through those feelings for it to be a legitimate like forgiveness, and we're moving on.
Right.
Because then it just seems like you're pushing all those feelings about it away, where Jo probably needed some time to like, she wouldn't have, even if Amy hadn't almost died, like she would have gotten over it eventually, and like
and it's putting the burden on the person who has already been wronged, and I just don't like that. Like, I don't know. I know that there's a lot of like, there's a lot of her writing about like forgiveness, and that I don't mind. I just have an issue with this specific sort of brand of forgiveness where it's like, if you do not immediately get over somebody doing something to deliberately hurt you, then you are the problem. Like, I just don't like that. Natalie also points out, also it's the 1800s. Think of how long it takes to write a freaking book. You have to edit a page, you have to write the whole thing over again. Yeah. Like,
there's no saving. Yeah.
Like, there is no comparison to me between like Jo being kind of snippy to Amy, and I forget what the actual thing that she did to her recently was, but it certainly wasn't as bad as burning the novel she was working on for like years, that is like so important to her. Like,
I think it was that she was saying that she was too young to go to the dance.
Oh yeah, well, so clearly I'm mistaken. That is entirely reasonable, to burn somebody's greatest possession, their life's work. That makes sense.
Just because she basically called her a little kid, like that, like you're too little and immature or whatever. And it's like, that's like normal sibling rivalry stuff, but like burning your sister's like prized possession goes a little beyond normal sibling rivalry.
Right. And even it's like even the timing of like even the timing of those scenes annoys me, because like I get that like the, you know, almost losing Amy, like yes, it would put things in perspective, but it feels to me like the choice to have that happen when it did, it suggests to me, and I'm not saying this is true, but it really feels like the author is saying, is like more concerned with like Joe learning a lesson, you know, as opposed to Amy. Because like doesn't, not that if anything had happened, it still wouldn't be Amy's fault, but isn't like the skating thing, isn't that also happening because Amy goes off by herself and doesn't want to listen to people? Which again, not that means she deserves to drown or anything, but it's just, it's so weird to me that like you finish those chapters and it feels to me like the point is like, and then Joe learned better and became a better person. I'm like, what about her ass little sister? Like what has Amy learned? I know that she supposedly like she gets a lot better later off page, but yeah.
I need to leave and then come back because my iPad's almost dying and my husband's here so he can fix the sound on the other computer.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
I'll be back.
Alrighty. I'll wait until Kelly's back to ask about what you've been reading, Huck. Now that I'm
okay.
possibly done rambling about I don't know. I can't promise anything.
I have not read Little Women. I think I tried listening to the audiobook at one point. I didn't get very far because I was like, this is boring. But I also am just not really a classics person. So
Can you hear me now?
I can,
I did like the movie adaptation, which of course is not the same, but you know.
Yeah, and like in the books that I've read from her, it's not that I just like, it would be simpler if it's like, oh, I just don't like them, she's not for me as an author, but there are always pieces that I love or that like really like resonate with me or work for me. Like in she wrote like a duology. The first book is 8 Cousins and the second is Rose and Bloom, and those books like really encapsulate my like struggle with how to feel about her as an author, because there are some moments and some passages that are like so good, like that are talking about, like there's one line from Rose, the main character, at the beginning of the second book that I love, and it's something about like she's like telling off her like male cousins and like other people for the way that they're like dismissing that she like wants to do more with her life and stuff, and like, you know, what does she want to do, and like basically like, well, you're just going to get married, what do you mean what you're going to do? And so she's getting upset at them, understandably, and she says something about like how, like, when are you going to understand that women have minds as well as hearts and souls, or something like that. And it was just like, there's a whole passage that is like so good, and it's like all along that line.
I think they used that in the movie. I remember them talking about that, like they took something from like other work of hers and put it into the most recent, the like Greta Gerwig movie adaptation, because she does have a thing where she says like a thing about like women are more than just hearts, like they have minds, and like all of essentially what you said, that she does have like a little speech, but it's in the Little Women movie, but it's not from Little Women.
Yeah, so like there are moments throughout the books like that are so good, but then like the way things end, or
oh no, did Kara freeze?
Oh, for a second I thought I was the one who was frozen.
I think Kara froze.
Are you back? Am I back?
I can hear you, but you're still. Oh, there you go.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like it's just there's some really good parts, and then there are some parts where it's like the way that things end, or like the feeling that I feel like you're supposed to leave with at the end is like, so are you saying that the sexists were right? Like, why? I just, it bothers me. It's like, why do I finish one of these books and I'm not sure I'm not sure if you believe that women are people too. Like, I don't know.
Huck, did you read the book, or you say you just watched the movie?
I have only seen the movie. After seeing the movie, I tried to listen to the audiobook and I did not get very far. Yeah.
Because I have a question, because so my best friend and I read the book together, and then we watched the newer one, a newer movie, and we were thinking, I really want to know somebody that hasn't read the book if they got confused because it goes back and forth in the timeline, but it's the same actresses, so it's not like.
Oh no, I didn't think that was confusing.
Because I was like, because we read the book, so we knew like, oh, now we're in the past timeline, and now we're, but I'm like, Amy is like 12 in the beginning of the book, and I'm like, that is a grown-up woman.
Yeah.
12-year-old.
Yeah. No, I mean, yes, but also it didn't really bother me because it was like obvious. I think that they were just being like, this is her being young, but I didn't think it was confusing. I think they were pretty clear. I think they did a good job of making it very clear, like when they were, based on like how they acted, how they dressed, and they also like the cinematography of it was different. Like in their childhood, everything had very like orange glow, kind of warm lighting, and then when they were adults, it had much cooler lighting. So it had like
the cold world of reality.
No, but it had this very like warm, nostalgic feeling of childhood,
Yeah.
And so like it was visually very easy to tell like where you were. It's been a while since I saw the movie, but I don't remember being confused at all.
Yeah, we weren't sure because I was like because I had seen the older, like there's multiple movies, but I had seen the one that was like from the 90s with Winona Ryder, and that one is just like a straight like from the beginning of the book to the end of the book, all the highlights, and so I was not expecting it to like jump back and forth.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay.
I think it would have been more confusing to me if they had used child actors, because then I would have had to figure out like which child corresponds to which sister. Because obviously they're not going to get a kid that looks exactly like the actors, and so it was easier to like know who they were.
Yeah.
My version will always be Winona's. I don't like Greta Gerwig's take. Sorry. I haven't seen it, and I don't really have an interest in it. Like I said, Little Women has never been one of my favorite classics. And I feel like this is so unfair, but I feel like that movie and like some of the creative team behind it, it's like I'm so glad that a lot of people love it, but I feel like I've been like overexposed to it almost, because I feel like I've already seen the movie even though I haven't, because everybody was like obsessed with it. And I don't know, like it's such a like petty reason to like not be interested, but that is one of the reasons that I'm just like
maybe someday.
Yeah.
We've just been doing this thing where she and I have been reading classics, and then we come back and like watch a movie, because everything we've read so far has had a movie version, because we read Les Mis and then did the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and then Little Women, and then Jane Eyre, which I don't think we just finished Jane Eyre, so we have not watched the movie together. So I'm sure the next time we see each other, we'll watch Jane Eyre.
Yeah. I really liked the Greta Gerwig Little Women. Like, I'm not attached to another version of it, and I really liked her version of it. Also, I gotta say, like, I don't have strong feelings about Timothée Chalamet, but I am a Christian Bale hater. Like, in response to that, I specifically dislike Christian Bale, just as an actor across the board, not specifically in that movie. So that also is a problem.
That hurts my heart, but mostly because I grew up, because I'm older than you guys, so like I grew up with like whether Christian Bale and Little Women and Newsies were like my high school, like, you know, everybody Christian
movie
Bale
crushes.
And Newsies was like, oh my gosh.
Yes. Yeah. Natalie said yes, Newsies. And Kristen Dunst Kirsten Dunst did look 12 to 14 as Amy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It really can be such like small things.
Yeah.
He says, "Damn, Huck, we will forgive you this transgression."
It's okay. It's okay. I mean, he's much different actor in adulthood, so I can like let it slide.
It's funny, or it's interesting that like, you know, talking about like who people like better as like the Lori and everything, that reminded me that I realized like eventually that I think one of the reasons that Little Women has never clicked for me fully as like a classic, even though it has things that I should enjoy, um one of the reasons is that I hate every single romance in it. And like the book is not about the romances. It's not like that's like the main story. It is mostly about like the girls like in the family and like finding who they are. Like, so I'm not saying that the book is a romance and I didn't like that, but it was really hard. Like I was invested in these like young girls, young women. And then I hated all the choices Louisa May Alcott made about their lives later. Which I fully recognize that in some cases it's like a personal preference thing. Like I hate Meg's plotline, even though it's like what seems to be a very reasonable like sort of like conflict between like a married couple, especially because she has like young kids for the first time. So like I'm sure it's well done, and I just like personal preference, I don't like that kind of plot. So that I recognize. But then in the case of like Jo, I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate her like romance ending. Yeah, it feels icky to me, and I didn't really care about any of their interactions. I have seen a live action musical that like a regional theater in my area did. They always do an amazing job, and I did like their relationship in that. So like there's clearly something there that I'm like willing to enjoy or invest in, but like in the original novel, I was like, I hate it here.
Yeah. I think actually in the novel it's better in the movies, I think, because in the novel I was like, what did he say? Like,
yeah,
what?
Like it's so condescending.
Yeah.
And I recognize as well that like things read differently now. Like even in like the book I'm reading by her right now, even though there are obviously characters that like we're not supposed to like or agree with what they're saying, there are still things about the way that everybody will like talk to women, and it rubs me so wrong. I hate it. And I recognize that that's like a time period thing, but it still is going to like have an effect when you're like reading something or watching something. Like I can recognize that like, yes, part of this issue is because of like the context that the story was written in, but that doesn't mean I have to like enjoy it. Yeah. Like I'm not required to like something or to accept something just because I understand where it came from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now that I've done my TED talk on Louisa May Alcott confusing me for several years, Kelly and Huck, did you guys want to share anything about what
was the original question? What are you reading? Okay.
Yeah, now that I just like kept everyone hostage while I like worked out my thoughts on Louisa May Alcott.
No, it's fine. We are all about the like wandering off the track and doing.
Yeah.
What are you reading, Huck?
I just started 2 books today. I am reading Hazelthorn by C.G. Drews, which was one of my like anticipated releases. It just came out at the end of October. Which I'm only a few chapters in, but so far really liking it.
I'm looking up so I know what you're talking about. Oh, okay.
Last year, one of her books, Don't Let the Forest In, was one of my like favorite books of the year. So I have high expectations for this one. But she does like YA, like kind of like nature body horror,
Ugh.
which is Like nature-based body horror is like a very I'm not really a horror person, but I'm
Mhm.
just like, yes, describe like plants taking over people's bodies.
Especially like mushrooms and fungus. You have like an affinity for.
Yeah. But yeah, so I just started that, and I also just started the audiobook for Shady Hollow, which is like
Oh
a murder
yeah.
mystery, but all the characters are woodland creatures.
Mhm.
Which I mean, it's a short book. I got like 28% of the way in this morning while I was just like getting ready and like doing stuff. So I'm thinking it's gonna go pretty fast, but it's fun so far. I'm not usually a big mystery person, so I'm just surprised that I have been liking it as much as I have. But oh, I had two things. One is I don't remember what it was that you said, Kara, but there was something that you said in your rant where I was thinking about a book that I read recently where, like, in general, I felt like the characters were very flat, but then specifically the way one of the like female characters in it was written just made me question that I was just like, this is not a situation where it's like you need some deep insight into the female psyche. It's like, have you ever met a person? Like, you know? And I just sometimes I come across things like that where I'm just like, this is just, you have to be like, well, I'm writing a person, so you
Yeah.
know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yep.
so that drives me crazy. But the other thing I was gonna say is I was gonna ask, have you guys read the I know you guys like T. Kingfisher, the one that's about like the Paladin's Grace and like that series, because I read the first
I
one earlier this month or in October, I guess. I was just wondering what your thoughts were on it if you've read it.
I've read
so
the first two.
okay. I'm excited to read those. I haven't read the actual like Paladin books yet, but Kelly and I actually buddy read Sword Heart, which is like in that same world, and we both kind of hated it. So
And everyone
Okay.
else loves it. What is?
everyone
Okay,
loves it. I know. I'm like, yeah, it's the Twilight Zone for that book.
but I did. Okay, so I've read the first two, and I loved Paladin's Grace. Like 5 stars, perfect for me because I think it's because it was like he's a knitter and
Yeah, that's cute.
she has like a job. I love it when like women have something and then you learn about that job and their passion for
Yes.
it. It's not like
Mm.
just part of it's like literally part of the book, not just like, oh yeah, by the way, she's a shopkeeper. Like, no, we get to learn about her mixing the perfumes and her
Yeah.
smell, her heightened sense of smell. And I loved that. And yeah, I loved the kind of their adventure they went on and like kind of murder mystery. So I really loved it. The second one for me was way too long and too much of a travel book. Like I liked
I don't like a
the
travel book.
They are traveling the entire time. So it was like
Mm.
Sword Heart again.
No.
Like, why are we traveling? Can we stop and just have a plot?
Yeah. In Sword Heart, it was also like so infuriating because like the characters would like make jokes about how like, wow, literally this whole time we've just been walking back and forth on this same road. And I'm like, I know. And like pointing it out does not make it more fun.
Truly,
Like,
sometimes that drives me crazy in books where like like there's something boring happening, and then I'm like, you are aware that this is a problem.
right. It's like, yeah, it feels like the author is trying to head off that criticism, and I'm like, it's not gonna work. I still feel this. Like,
I still feel it's for it.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm excited though to continue because now I'm invested in the characters that are future romances. So I'm hoping that the next one will not involve traveling.
You're like, I want everyone to stay in one place.
Yeah, I was gonna say the commoner. Yeah, talking about like making socks. Like I would have to say.
Yeah. Love that he makes her socks to comfort her. That's love right there.
So now that I've said I loved it, you made a face hug. Does that mean that you didn't love it?
Did I make a face?
Kelly's like, let's talk about the face you made. Like,
Made a face.
I don't remember that. No, I didn't like love it. I thought it was fun. It wasn't like I wasn't, passionately excited about it. I just was like, that was a cute romance. I felt like maybe the romance could have had a little more depth to it, but
Yeah.
I was like, that's fine. It was a little more like, it was a little darker than I was expecting I was expecting very like cozy romance, and then I was like, oh, this is getting weirder than I expected.
You're always gonna get creep factor in T. Kingfisher, no matter what.
That's true. I've read a few of her books, and I still was surprised.
Like, even in Bryony and Roses, which is like her Beauty and the Beast retelling, and there is like a fairly strong romance element, like that one still had that incredibly creepy like scene or a couple of scenes near the end with like the roses and everything. So
I do not remember that, but okay.
Yeah, it's just something I always expect
Yeah.
in her books, and I like how she does it, so it doesn't bother me. But or not bother, not that you were bothered by it, but I guess it doesn't surprise me when that happens anymore.
And I would say book 2, well, I mean, there's a lot of boring traveling, but when we finally get to like where we're hitting the actual plot and everything, it definitely gets pretty creepy and graphic. But that's, I mean, it's kind of similar to when we read Clockwork.
I was just gonna mention that, Kelly, because like, Huck, I don't remember if we talked about this when we were all talking about T. Kingfisher before, but Kelly and I also buddy read the it's sold as a duology now, but it actually was just written as one story that they then broke up because like when she was independently publishing them, it was like, oh, that's too long for an indie author, which like I understand that reasoning, but it really does read like a story split up in the middle. So it's the Clockwork Boys and
the Wonder Engine.
Wonder Engine, yes. And those are like the whole first book, it's like just them traveling, but it was still really interesting because like I loved the characters so much and I loved their interactions, and it was interesting figuring out like this world. Like there were things that we were learning, and it didn't feel like a lot of repetitive like going from place to place, because they always did have like a goal or something that they were trying to understand, or there's almost like a mystery element. So like that one is also a ton of traveling, but I liked it a lot better.
Yeah. And I like that. So the one thing I wish book 2 really, if they just like condense some of the travel time, there's a lot of good stuff, because I liked the 2 main characters, because so many, of these cozy fantasy romances are like 20-some-year-olds, but these were like 2 people like in their 40s who have gone through a lot of life, that have like sore backs, and they're like, and they're still having, sex as like
as adults.
Like, so I think that sometimes like authors are just like, no, they gotta be like in their 20s or lower 30s to have a romance. It's like, people, middle-aged people can have romances too. Like
yeah. Interestingly, like I feel like there's a lot of like cross recommendations between T. Kingfisher's books, like specifically her more like recent like mainstream ones that are like more of a like fantasy romance. I feel like there's a lot of crossover between people recommending that and like the Megan Bannon, what was the name of the book? Undertaking of Heart and Mercy, which I hated. And there's a lot of people that are like comparing that book to like what T. Kingfisher does, and it's like this is like purely my bias, because like on the surface I understand how some of the like vibes or like ingredients are similar, but to me it just like there is such a difference in the way that these authors, at least in these books, I haven't read anything else by Megan Bannon, and there are other things I want to try by her, but like there is such a huge difference in the way that these authors like write like people, and especially like write relationships and write characters that you like want us to care about. Like like the Undertaking of Heart and Mercy is one where like that was primarily a romance, which is fine. That's not a bad thing. But that means that when I can't stand the couple, that has a much bigger effect on my feelings on the book than another genre. Because it's such a big part of the story. And like, I hated the man so much. Like, the whole first like handful of chapters from his POV is all about like he's interacting with the main woman. And basically it boils down to like him describing her body in a really unsettling amount of detail, but he can't stand her personality. Like, basically she'd be such a good piece of ass if she like stopped talking. And I'm like, I hate you. Like, I don't want to be her. Like, that's just, and I understand that like, of course they don't like each other at the beginning, they don't hit it off, but like there's a difference. Like, I am a hate to love defender when it's done well, but there's a difference between a relationship starting out in a bad place or like antagonistically versus like doing things where I'm like, these are IRL red flags. Like,
Yeah.
like this man would be like, I think, brought in for questioning, you know, like there's like weird things that he would like say or think. Anyway, I don't like that is like equated with T. Kingfisher because I love her books, but you know, I understand on the surface that they're similar.
Because I've read a lot of T. Kingfisher now, like since you introduced me to her years ago. Like, I have read a lot of her books, and I have yet to find a comparable author, because it's like the combination of every time I start one of her books, I'm like immediately feel familiar with the humor. I feel like the cozy parts, but then there's always like the horror aspects, but it's never too much for my taste. With the horror, it's like just enough, and then is like cut with the humor when needed. And then like the characters almost always, I would say Sword Heart, the reason I didn't love it is because the characters just fell flat for me, and so many times her characters really pull me in, and they're you know, not just like 20-year-old idiots, which I think part of why I didn't love the person from Sword Heart is I felt like the woman did not have like much of a personality. So it was like
also, she was only quirky, like only quirk. That was it. Nothing underneath. And yeah, like to compare that to I just forgot Nettle and Bone, which is way shorter, but I think the characters are so much richer and more engaging. And like, you know, also the books are trying to do different things. Like that one is dealing with things like domestic violence and abuse. And like, I recognize that the books don't have the same sort of like themes or intentions, but like, yeah, like the characters are so well done. And in the other books I've read from her, which many of those are also very short, like the characters are so well done, or like even if I don't like them, I feel like they are written really well, like the antagonist characters. And I basically always love her main characters. And like one of the hardest things for me to describe about what like I love reading from her is like there's just this feeling when she's writing main characters where it's like the opposite of like a chosen one, or like the opposite of like the super special like magic person going to save the world, like opposite of Manic Pixie Dream Girl, basically. Like it feels like this underlying like understanding that like everybody is this rich, you know, every person has this kind of capacity for like relationships and like empathy and like all of this. Like there's this one line in The Seventh Bride, like her Bluebeard retelling. There's this one line super early on about a very minor side character, but I feel like it really encapsulates one of the things I love about her books, because it's like one of the main characters like friends or neighbors, and the narration describes her as like being like plump and very friendly, which was enough to make foolish people think her stupid or something like that. And it's like that's like the exact feeling that I get, is that like I don't know. I'm really struggling with how to describe this, obviously, but like, it's just this appreciation that everybody everybody has main character energy, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But like in a way that feels very meaningful and thoughtful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Also, hello, Mel. We're chatting about what we've been reading lately. Huck, did you finish giving us your reading update? Or did we just start talking about T. Kingfisher and all the things?
Yeah, I mean, I finished pretty much. Well, I guess I technically am reading one other book that I'm reading, A Dark and Secret Magic, which is fine. I don't have strong feelings about it. I kind of keep forgetting that I'm reading it, and so then I'm like, it might be one of those books that I don't like intentionally DNF. I just sort of forget that I'm reading it and then go like, well, it's been too long now. So.
I guess that's a DNF, yeah.
Yeah. So like I'm kind of trying to not do that and trying to remember to like read it, but I'm not like, I know it is spoilers. I need to film a wrap up.
We can be your practice audience, so all good.
Yeah. Well, technically that won't be in my wrap up because I have not finished it.
Mm-hmm.
And also it's kind of like the time has passed because that's one of those books that's like a countdown to Halloween, and it's like, well, it's not really relevant
no longer
anymore.
seasonal.
However, I will say that a lot of times the last few years this has happened to me where it's like I do not feel the Halloween spirit until Halloween, and then in November I'm like, Halloween.
Yeah. I'm totally feeling, I think it's like the weather, like at least for me, the weather has just finally turned.
Yeah, that's part of it.
Spooky, and now I just want to read all the spooky things.
Right, yeah.
That's like what my November will be, all the witch stuff. Like now I want to read it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's finally getting colder for us too, and I definitely am feeling that with like what I want to be reading or doing. Also, I was gonna say, do you guys like how the last couple thumbnail designs have been like autumn leaves, even though I've never seen an autumn leaf tree in my life?
I
don't even know if I noticed that. I'm like, now I have to go on.
I think actually this one I don't think is autumn leaves, but it's like the color
orange.
of autumn
it's
leaves.
close enough.
Right, yeah. But it's just it's so funny because like I'll use the like fall leaf emojis, and I'm like, would love to see one someday. Like,
oh, I'm definitely seeing them. In fact, ours are almost there now.
That's cool.
Oh, ours are like fully in fall mode, or like, well, some of them are still transitioning from green to orange at this point, but it's like there's leaves on the ground, you know.
I'm gonna show up at your guys' house.
I just
like show me the trees. Take me to the trees.
Yeah.
The other day, actually today, I just like posted my little like October camera roll, kind of just like pictures from October. And the other day I did a little photo shoot with each of the dogs, with like Merlin and then each of my parents' dogs, and did like little pictures of them like sitting in the leaves and like looking up. Very cute. Surprisingly, my parents' dog Raven did the best, which she's usually horribly behaved.
Like, I've decided I will be a model.
Yeah. Well, what worked is that I picked up a pine needle and like held it up, and she was like, "What is that?" And so, yeah.
Magical.
And Timber, I only got derpy pictures of him. He was not doing. Usually I can get like a really noble look from him, and he was not doing it.
Not having
it making me think of like the cartoon, and I don't even know where it's from because I've only seen it as a meme at this point, but it's like the 3-headed dragon, and 2 of them are like normal dragons, and then there's the one that's like on the end. That's like Timber.
Yeah,
photo shoot.
Oh, poor Timber. He tries so hard.
Yeah.
So, Huck, when you finish Shady Hollow, my question will be, my daughter is really getting into mysteries, and I think she would like that whole like animal kind of with as people kind of thing. But I'm wondering, because it is technically an adult book, will it be too explicit, like too graphic?
gory? Yeah.
Okay.
Or is it more like a cozy mystery that she would be okay? She's very mature, but she still is 10.
Yeah.
Okay, I will do my best, but also I am not good at judging that.
Yeah.
And also, I was for maybe not at 10, but at like 13, like 12 and 13, I was for sure reading stuff I should not have been. So my gauge for like what's child appropriate is not always the best.
Well, she does pretty well. Like, we are reading a one that is meant for middle graders, and it's got some scary, intense scenes. Like, as like, a man just died in like on the page with like rattlesnakes attacking him, and like it was like the rattlesnake bit his feet, and then its face, and then they were on top of him, and then all stuff, and I was like, whoa, people, I got a 10-year-old listening to this, like, what?
Yeah. This man being consumed by snakes, like,
and she was fine. So
yeah.
So
has she read like Redwall or anything? Because that's one that like I listened to as a kid, and then I listened to as an adult, and I was like, this is a lot more violent than I remember.
Yeah.
No, we've been like, we listened to some together, but right now sorry, my one daughter is obviously having some issues. I'm sure you can hear up there. She had to put her Minecraft away, and I don't think she liked that. So she's reading the Enola Holmes books.
Okay.
And she's really liking those.
Yeah.
But those are definitely pretty tame.
Right. They don't get super detailed with like the actual murder stuff. I have to say, Polly makes an excellent suggestion. Somebody please take Carrie to Vermont to feel the falliest fall ever at least once.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm ready for...
I've never been to Vermont either. Maybe we should all just go to Vermont.
Neither have I. I have a friend that lives in Vermont.
Yeah, I've never been. Let's do it. Let's go to Vermont.
Yes. Crafting road trip.
Yeah.
Well, I am reading, because you reminded us that we were supposed to read A Drop of Corruption. I am reading The Tainted Cup.
Okay.
So
maybe at the end of the month we'll read Drop of Corruption.
Well, I should be able to finish it this week, and then can read Drop of Corruption the second half of the month. But it's just, I started it last month, but then I had started all the books last month. Like, I had literally started like 10 books, and turned out that was too many. And it was too many. So I set that aside, and then I just picked it back up a few days ago. So that is like one of the ones I'm reading. And then I just finished an audiobook, so I don't have a new audiobook yet. So I need to think of what else. I was also reading Play Nice by Rachel Harrison, I think it is. Like, she's the one that does kind of like horror with some, not necessarily cozy vibes, but they are kind of light horror. Like, she like cackle, and and this one is like a haunted house. But I put that down because I had accidentally started 2 books at the same time that were like going back to your childhood home, and I was like, okay, this is confusing. Like, because one was like thriller, and this is like light horror, but both of them involve people going to childhood homes, and I was like, I can't read 2 at once.
Yeah.
And then get confused on what I'm reading. So
Holly also said, I haven't been in Vermont or in the US at all, but every fall romance seems to be set there. So like, honestly, the vibes of so much of our media is like, Vermont is where fall begins. Like, it is the source of fall.
We have a very beautiful fall here, but it's early. I mean, it's in fall. It's just now we're at the end. I mean, I would say probably in the next week we will lose all our leaves, because it's already getting down to freezing. Like, I guess the next couple days it'll be warmer, but we've already been in the 30s, so most of the leaves are all. But month of October is like beautiful.
Yeah, I'm just glad that it's getting cold enough that I can like wear my sweaters now, because it feels
No.
very silly sometimes to be knitting sweaters in the summer and then be like,
Yeah.
well, what am I doing with this?
Yeah. Well, that was like half my reasoning behind when I think a couple months ago maybe, when I was talking about like I want to actively pursue figuring out what kind of like warm weather clothes that I like, because
Right.
like yeah, I want to be able to wear things that I make like more than 3 months of the year, 4 months of the year, like
Yeah. Yeah.
especially because I also get overheated super quickly, so I feel like I have even less of a time to enjoy them. But
Makes sense. Yeah. There's something else I was going to say and then I lost it. Oh well. But so you're reading The Tainted Cup.
I am, and I think part of it is it's a little slow, I think, to get into because they're not explaining any of it, and there's a lot. It seems, with the world and the I don't know if it's even called the military, whatever he's in, like whatever this societal structure is, and the like alterations and all this stuff. I don't really understand what's happening, so I'm assuming as you get farther in, you can just kind of go with it. But right now, I'm like, what?
Yeah, Robert Jackson Bennett's worlds are always really interesting, but he a lot of times has a lot of information.
Yeah, so I'm still in the like inundated with the information, but so I think I'll get it. So I don't really have thoughts yet. So I guess we will see when I finish. But everybody seems to love it, so I'm assuming I'm gonna love it.
I mean, if you don't love it, then we don't have to read A Drop of Corruption. I'll just read that on my own. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely not the type of person that's just gonna read it just because we've made it. Like, if I don't like it,
yeah. That's good.
He's like, I will abandon a buddy read without a second thought.
I will. I'm like, sorry, Huck, but I'm not going to if I don't. But right now, I don't have like any negative feelings. I just don't really know what's happening yet.
Yeah.
So I'll get more into it, and then be excited to hopefully continue. But I have been lately like continuing series, and so I'm excited that if I finish this to just pick up the next one, because I just finished the Ember and the Ashes series, and I actually read it like pretty much back to back, like one each month until I finished it. I was like, look at me finishing a series in the same year I started it.
Who is she?
I know. So I'm like, maybe we'll keep doing this where I actually continue and finish things. That would, and I've read 2 of the Paladins books, and so now I just need to like keep going on those 2, because wouldn't that be great if I finished those 2?
Look at you go.
I was just looking at the Shady Hollow series. My library has like the first book and the last book, but none of the ones in between. And I was like, what if I like this and then I want to just read the whole series? What am I supposed to do?
Is it, how many books? I don't even know how many books there are.
There were a bunch. I didn't realize there were that many. I thought there were like 3.
I know, that's what I was like kind of feeling, but no. How many? Let's see.
There's at least 6, because my library has number 1 and number 6.
Yeah, it looks like 6. My goodness, that's a lot of.
That's also way more than I thought there were.
Yeah.
But that means if it is appropriate for my kid, it'd be great, because she loves series. She just, when she reads something and then finds out it's a standalone, she's like, no, like she wants to read a series. Like Enola Holmes is like 8 or something, right?
Yeah.
So I'll have to figure that out.
And she
or see if I can connect to some other library.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure. Oh, sorry. Do you have Spotify? Because I have been like finding, if I can't have it in my library, I could do like my like one. They allow you like a certain amount of hours a month if you have Spotify Prime or whatever.
Oh, I don't have like I don't pay for Spotify.
Okay. Well, then you won't have audio. We have it because we all share it, like the kids and everything. So
yeah. I also have been like sort of moving away from using Spotify because of all the like apparently they've been I have not heard them, but apparently they're like running ads for ice and stuff, which
Oh,
is
really?
crazy.
On what? I never.
I have never heard that, but I have heard people say that, and so I don't know.
I wonder if because I pay for Prime, I don't get ads.
I don't know.
I've never heard an ad on Spotify, so that's
well. Yeah, I think that if you pay for Prime, that's the point of it, is that you don't get ads.
Okay, so that would be why I've never heard those.
Yeah. Anyway,
okay, that's
so
weird.
I mean I have not heard those ads, so I cannot confirm, but that's what I have heard from people.
But that does not feel good.
Yeah. Not super jazzed about that.
Yeah.
I also I don't listen to music a whole lot, so it's not like a big change for me to just be like, oh, well then I guess I'll just won't listen to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did I'm gonna return to T. Kingfisher for one moment.
Sure.
Because while we're talking about my daughter and her like maturity, I got her to read a few of like T. Kingfisher's books that she had written as middle grade, but then her publisher was like, you can't actually publish these as middle grade.
Yeah. Ma'am, you're too creepy for the children. We can't do this. Like,
and Bernadette loved them. I was like, my kid can handle it.
Yeah.
That she is writing to, the one that is okay with a little bit of with some intensity and a little creep factor.
Yeah. I also think, I mean, obviously there are things that are like appropriate or not for kids, but I also think that kids can handle a lot more than maybe we think they can.
Yeah, and that kids can be a lot more in touch with what they can handle. You know, it's not necessarily like this is not appropriate for kids. It's like it might be something where like it content wise it would be fine, but like kids can know that it's like, oh, I find this scary, I don't want to read that. Mm-hmm. You know, like that's normal.
Yeah.
Kids are different. Every kid's different.
Yeah. Also true. Yes. Yeah. Also true. I was just talking to somebody about how like when I was younger, like I read a lot of like adult books when I like adult fantasy when I was like probably too young for them, but I did to some extent self-select or self-police to be like, this is too much.
Yeah. Yes.
There are certain books that I vividly remember being like, this is very disturbing and I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I actually would do that because she saw, I think it was the book you gave me, was it Lindsay Curry, The Girl in White or something like that? And it's about a ghost.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and I loved that book, but I showed it to my daughter, and I was like, no, just letting you know, this is about a ghost, and kind of told her a little bit about it, and she's like, no, I don't want to read that. So I think she could know, like, there's different levels, and I think ghosts and possession and that kind of stuff, she's like, no.
Yeah. I mean, and that's one of those things that, like, I am very selective about the kinds that I read, because I also don't enjoy that. Mm-hmm. It's not like the kind of creepy that I find like fun or enjoyable, but what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just say also, especially with things that are like horror elements, people will be so different about like what bothers them and what doesn't, because like I don't read a lot of horror, but my reason for not reading horror is not really because it's too scary for me. Most of the time I just find it really boring, because I'm just like, I don't care about you describing all of the like gross things to me. I'm just like, move on, do something else, you know? But the thing that does freak me out is any time where it's like there's somebody like living in the walls of their house or like living in the attic or the basement or anything that they don't know that there's somebody like living in the walls. It freaks me out. But like so much other things, but like ghosts or like, you know, other gross things. And I'm just like, what? I don't care that much, you know?
Mhm.
But so like,
Yeah,
you
and
never know. It's really specific to people.
right. And it's like you just have to like believe somebody, you know, it's like
Yeah.
it's not inconsistent. People just find different things disturbing. Like there's not
Right.
there's obviously not like an objective way to rate how scary things are, but like even if you could somehow come up with that, something being in the same tier of scary as something else has very little to do with if somebody wants to consume that story. Like that just doesn't it doesn't have an effect. I actually just a few days ago, I was talking to my dad and he like thought he mentioned this in passing, like that he thought it was like not funny. Like it wasn't like he was making fun of it, but he was referring to when I was really, really little and how the Dumbo movie scared me. When I was really little, I didn't like it because of the scene with his mother. And my dad was kind of acting like he didn't like, oh, that was like a weird thing that you did. And I'm like, it wasn't that weird. Like they like whipped his mother almost to death and we watch it and like she's separated from her baby. Like it was such a weird thing because I'm like, I actually think, you know, 4-year-old Kara or however old I was, I think she knew what she was talking about. Like I don't think
my mom wouldn't let us watch certain Disney movies like Dumbo, Bambi, like anything where there was like traumatic like mother, like separation from their mother died, like anything like that. She was like, you don't need to know.
Yeah. Like I was like, I don't think that was out of line at all for me to be like like scared of that. Cause like no, it's not like intended to be one of the like creepy Disney movies, but like that scene is very like unsettling, like and frightening, and
it's very upsetting.
Like
I actually have never seen it, but like conceptually, that's very upsetting.
Yeah, it's and I don't remember like a ton of details about it because it's been a long time since I watched the movie. But like, yeah, you are just like watching the people who own the circus like whip his mother like over and over, and she's like, you know, like she's crying in a way, but like it's I don't know how to explain it. It's like they did a really good job of like making her feel like a mom and also like an animal that was being hurt. So it was like upsetting in like multiple ways. Like it just was something where it was like horribly upsetting. And like they're separated for most of the movie. And I think they maybe even think the other one is dead for most of the movie. Like it was so freaking sad, like, and messed up. And I mean it is like, I guess good on them for showing that like circuses are often horrible places for animals, but yeah, it was not something where I was like, oh, you're right, I overreacted. It was like, no, like that was like really messed up.
That's intense.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Polly asked a question.
Yes.
I think it is like kind of supposed to be between middle grade and young adult, and I just haven't read it yet. So I think maybe my daughter and I will read it together now that I know.
I have read that one and I enjoyed it. Age appropriateness is hard because the very beginning of the book, it starts with a murder or a couple of murders, and it's not like horribly graphic about it, but that is like a big thing the story is about. And then near the end of the book, there's a lot more, there's like discussion about like war and like the costs of war. And again, I don't remember it being super graphic or detailed, but like, you know, it's kind of, your mileage may vary on how much that would be appropriate, you know, for younger readers. I mean, I do think that is important stuff to talk about. I just don't know like what the recommendation should be for that.
I might read it first, which is what I did with Illuminations by T. Kingfisher. And that one I felt was completely age appropriate. It had intense scenes, but it was not graphic at all.
And actually the Wizard's Guide is like, it's interesting because one of the big things that the sort of like last part of the book is about is it's sort of like criticizing this like idea of like young, like kids kids are going to save the world, like specifically in the sense that like, okay, but these kids are saving the world because every adult has failed them, you know, which is like a thing that I think could be valuable for younger people to see. But it does make it tricky to sort of like, you know, talk about.
Yeah. Speaking of which, so because you're saying it's like it starts off with a murder. So Kelly, you're saying your daughter's like reading mysteries and stuff. Does she read murder mysteries, or is it like only other kinds of mysteries?
Well, I don't know. Do any? I've never read any Enola Holmes, so I don't know if any of them are murders or if they're just investigations. She read another set that were definitely just mysteries, like the cat is missing, or you know, like that kind of thing.
I think the Enola Holmes that I have read, I think most of them are like missing persons cases, rather than like murders. And there are a couple of the cases that sort of touch on like other like scary things or messed up things. Like there's one that is like very heavily tied to like how easy it was to like lock women up, you know, in those times and things. Mm-hmm. So like it does get serious, but I don't think the cases themselves.
Yeah,
I don't think it's about murders.
The Shady Hollow book is a murder mystery. It starts off with a toad has been murdered, and now they're trying to figure out who in their like small woodland town has murdered the toad. So just if that tells you anything,
I might just ask her because, like, she definitely has read a lot of Greek mythology, which.
Very messed up. Yeah.
Like, I mean, I remember us reading when we read the children's version of the Odyssey, they still like stab the eye out of the like giant guy and like, you know, and then there's still the like, what are the two sea monsters? The like one that's like,
Scylla and Charybdis.
Yeah. And they're like fighting and then the men are getting eaten by. So like she's seen people die in fantasy type situations, mythology situations, but I don't know about like a murder mystery. So I might just ask her how she feels about that.
Yeah. And there's probably like maybe the Shady Hollow could be a good example of this, depending on like how you feel after you finish it. But there's probably like some almost sort of like bridge books like crossover with it, you know, where it's like it's not like all out murder mystery, but there's like more going on.
I mean, so far it's not like it's really graphic. Like they find the body and they say that he has a knife in his back, but like they're not like going into gory detail about anything, and it's so far mostly about the characters like going around town asking people for alibis and like you know, like they're sleuthing around. It's not like really like graphic or anything. So
and the reason I thought about it was because we just had dinner with this other family and they have an 8th grader and she is reading them. She was like, oh, they're really good, you know, and all that stuff, and I was like, well, I was 3 years older, but it's still not an adult like reading them. So
right. And I mean, depending on your school setup, it could even still be elementary school.
So I'll just like read the first chapter and see like how I feel.
I do probably have to get going soon.
I was actually just Merlin. I was gonna say the same thing actually. So this is a good stopping point. I did not make a huge amount of progress, but I kind of knew that would happen because I was just like chilling. But I did cast on my new project. I am liking the feel and color of the yarn so far. So off to a good start with my like 3 rows.
I did a few rows or rounds, but still, like, because it's the body, it's like 3 hours of work. Is like, I don't know if you can see. There's like a little. This is where I started. This is where I ended. I did like this much, so it's like maybe 1.5 inches in 3 hours.
It has always been tube.
It will always be tube.
I don't even have my knitting now because the cat was attacking, so I didn't make it very far. But we've got the
Lots of nails done. Yeah.
all nails.
Hey.
The
Very
brown and the
cool.
purple look very similar, so it looks like it's
I think they
both
add
brown and
something
purple.
extra.
Well, yeah, and you feel the brown and the purple, so and we will know it's there.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I'm happy with it. Like, you know, little festive-y fall.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you guys both, as always, for hanging out and crafting.
Thanks for
And
hosting.
yeah, and speaking of, I have linked Huck and Kelly below. Please check them out if you haven't. Yeah, thank you guys who were hanging out in the comments with us. Thanks to people who watch this back later. Yeah, we love doing these, so I'm really glad that we are all still looking for like a space to just vibe and craft and yeah, and talk about anything. Just I love it. Yeah, anything you guys want to add or like plug or anything?
No, I have to actually film things to have stuff to plug.
Yeah. Okay, same. I mean, yeah, relatable. Mine is probably mostly editing that I'm behind on right now. So maybe that should be my goal before our next sprint is that I have done a video thing. That would be great. So maybe I'll pledge that to you guys, but
Okay.
okay.
I would say we'll hold you accountable, but honestly, I will probably forget because my brain is like sieve. I remember nothing.
You will theoretically hold me accountable, maybe.
Yeah. I am a terrible person to hold people accountable because I will immediately forget what I was supposed to remind you of.
Sometimes maybe that's a kind of chill accountability you need sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
Maybe it'll happen, maybe not.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Huck and Kelly, for joining us, for hanging out. But yeah, we will see you next time.
Oh.
Bye.